Today I'm going to be moving this antenna onto the roof. And the reason is because I'm trying to get over-the-air digital signals, and some of the channels don't come in very good, and I figure if I can get it outside it could help. And I was running, it was in the attic, and it was running down from there, down this wall to an amplifier, and then into the wall over there. But I decided to move the installation of the antenna back on the back side of the house, so I had to drill a hole through the attic there, just a simple spade bit hole through the attic, and then had to crawl around in the attic, the whole length of the attic to go there, and then come all the way back out to the other end with the wire. And I punched it through the vent, the attic vent screen, because I figure I'll come back and caulk it up to keep the insects and water out of that hole. But I could have installed it over here on this side. It would have made it a lot easier. However, there's trees over here, and thought that would be too much obstruction there. So we decided to do it on the other end of the attic, which required me to buy a long strand of wire, a long strand of coax. But now I got it all set up out there, and I'll show you out there once we get outside where the other end of that wire is. So I got some ground wire here, some tools to cut some wire and some coax, and this is how I'm going to be mounting it. I'm going to be mounting it with the gable mount that I got from Radio Shack, and it's a small bracket and then a larger bracket. So, and then here's all the screws and everything, the lag bolts, and it should be a pretty interesting installation. So right now I'm just going to have to take down this antenna as the next step. And then after that, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll be outside on the ladder at the end of the roof installing this bracket stuff. And this is where the installation is going to take place, up here. And we're cheating a bit. We're using 2 ladders, and we're going to use pencils to mark our spots for the brackets and make sure everything's level. I'm sure a professional guy would do this stuff really fast, but we're making sure that we get it right. Taking more time, make sure we get it right. Alright. Okay, we took our pencil and circled the holes of the brackets, and we have our hanging line to give us the center. So we had our speed level. We took our speed level and just put it on like that while we're up. Okay. Once we had it level, I just circled in these holes. And except we did it up way up there on top of the ladders. Since we're going through sheet metal, we thought it'd be good to pre-drill with a small bit and then a larger bit, and then we'll throw the bolt in. So right now I'm going up the ladder and screwing through our circled holes that we did with our pencil. And then the next step will be to just lag bolt it in, and we'll get our brackets up. Okay, we got our brackets up there, and now we're ready to assemble the U-bolt and get our mast up in there. And the hard part's over with. We used a hex bit to on the head of the screw to drill up in there. Okay, this is the hard part. With the camera, I only have one hand.
Now you
and somehow I have to get a nut on this guy, on this one.
Watch me, you drop one of these things.
A washer?
There's a washer.
Here, let me turn the camera off. Okay, well, we get in there. We put the bolts through on the nuts with the washer. coming from the backside going this way, and then this U-bolt going in this way, and we got our nuts on this backside here. And now we're just getting an open-ended wrench to screw down the bolts, the nuts, and just checking for level, or plumbness, I guess I should say. Okay, now we're going to put a grounding block up here on the outside of the house. I figured this would be okay. He pre-drilled again. And now we're screwing it in up there. I might have to use a power. Okay, here we go. We're drilling a hole for the other one. It's getting stuck. There we go. And then we'll put our ground wire in and get the antenna up on the mast. Okay, so I got up onto the roof with the antenna. That was fun with the ladder and trying to get up the ladder on the roof with the big old antenna poking you in the ribs. And we got up there, and I kind of loosely tightened it for now because I figure I'll go back up to point it to the right direction and stuff, but that's generally the right direction. And we attached our ground wire to this grounding block over here. And we're just ready for pretty much finishing off connecting the wire that comes through the attic up there and the ground wire, and testing our signal and doing final touch-ups. Okay, we secured the ground wire from underneath the siding here, as we can track it back up to the ground spot up there. We racked it down, brought it down there, all the way down here, tucked it underneath here, and the next step we're going to do is ground it to the electric post here. Okay, we ran the green line all the way out to our electric. And as you can see, there's already ground wires here coming from the cable, and the ground wire coming from the ground wire here coming from the telephone. And we're just gonna go into one of these bolts here, and we should be grounded. All in all, it's about 2 hours to get to this point, but we had pretty much all the tools and everything ready to go. Not bad for a bunch of amateurs.
Speak for yourself. A little bit more bare wire here.
Now he's going to screw it down here. And once he screws it down, it should be grounded. As you can see, there's this big metal pole going to the ground, into the ground. Right on here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all the way over to the right. And before I put the antenna, when I had it in my attic, it was about
you know, like down in 3 and 4, and it would cut down, and then you'd lose a signal. So putting it out there was well worth the 3 hours of hassle. And that does it for the installation. I just need to go back up there and tighten it down a little bit, maybe do some fine tweaking, but it looks good.